Let's try to classify the following list of costs into either variable or fixed costs and as product or period costs. So let me just draw a small table right here. So we're going to have a fixed cost, variable cost, period, or product. Yes? So this is going to be our solution table. So let's start with the very first one, and that is the A. Yeah, so lumber used to construct decks, $12 per square foot. And from the course material, you already know that we're talking about, and let me just draw a graph right here. So we're going to imagine this is our output or the volume of the production or whatever output we might have, and this is the cost. And so it says it's $12 per square foot, and let's say that this is one square, this is second, yeah, this is square foot for now. And then we have the 3, 4, and so on, yeah. And then we have $12. So if we imagine that this is actually 10, yeah, so 12 is going to be somewhere here, per square foot is going to be somewhere here. If there is another one, it's going to be so second square foot, and that's going to be, so this is 20, so that's going to be 24 around here, and so on and so on. So we can see that there is increase in the cost the more we produce or use the lumber. Yeah, so if we produce 3, it's going to be 30, so it's $12 right here. Yeah, $12 right here, 20. Let me just change it. Yeah, so it's going to be, just a second, go back. So if I use the red color, so $12 right here, and this is going to be $24, right? If it's 3, then it's going to be 36, somewhere around here. Yeah, so somewhere around here it's going to be 36, and so on, and so on, right? So 3 right here. So we can already say that out of the variable or fixed, A is going to be, in fact, variable. So it's going to increase in terms of cost per each square of foot. So we settled out that that's going to be a variable cost for A. And another one is whether it's a product cost or period cost. Now, because this is a part of the production process, it's going to be a product cost. It has nothing to do with the period cost. We're going to use it in production and then inventorize it in our balance sheet. Next, it's carpenter. Carpenter labor used to construct decks. So we're talking about labor, and probably this is just labor cost, like direct labor cost. And again, it says here $10 per hour. $10 per hour. If I will erase this part right here, so we're gonna have, in terms of the output, is going to be not square feet but hours. Yeah, so labor hours. We're going to have for each hour $10, $12, $20, and so on and so on. So we're gonna have, choose another color. So if it's 1 hour, then it's $10. If it's 2 hours, $20. If it's 3 hours, it's $30, somewhere here, right? $30, and so on and so on. So again, this is going to be a variable cost. And in terms of the product or period, now the carpenter labor used to construct decks, it's we are using it to produce the units of product in our company, right? So this is going to be also a product cost. Moving on to the next one, which is C, construction supervisor salary. Now, is this a fixed or variable cost? So whether, and it says here $45 per year. So it has nothing to do with the output. We have a fixed cost in terms of the salary. So it says that every single year, no matter how many units you produce, you will pay your supervisor, so construction supervisor, $45,000. And so that's going to be a fixed cost. So fixed cost. It's C, sorry. It's C, yeah? So the C is going to be a fixed cost for sure. And in terms of whether it's a period or product, now it says construction supervisor. And if we assume that this is a company that constructs, that they're working, they're building, they're architectural company and so on. So in that case, it's going to be a product cost. So we're going to classify it as C. It's a overhead, it's a fixed overhead, and it's a product cost. Next, it's D, depreciation on tools and equipment. Now, a depreciation also is a $6,000 per year. So it's going to have, and let me actually erase this one right here and construct another one, right? So here what we have is, what does it say? Depreciation on tools and equipment, and it's going to be no matter if we produce, so if it's number of units, so if it's 1, 4, 10, 100, or whatever it is, it's still going to be a $6,000, right? So $6,000 right here for our depreciation. So again, we can just safely say that this is going to be a fixed cost. Now, in terms of the product or period, so we need to look into what kind of depreciation this is, what we are depreciating. And it says here that it's a depreciation on tools and equipment. So the tools and equipment are used to produce, they're used in the production process. Therefore, it's going to be a product cost. It's D. Selling and administrative expenses, we're here in the E. Selling and administrative expenses, 35,000 per year. Again, we're talking about fixed costs. Regardless of the number of units, regardless of the output level, we're still going to expense 35,000 per year for selling and administrative expenses. And so that means that we have E, fixed costs. In terms of the product or period, now it is selling and administrative. It means that they're expensed as they are incurred, and that falls under the category of period costs right here. Now, next one is rent on corporate office space. Now, rent, and here it's $34,000 per year. Again, we're talking about fixed costs. It's going to be a F, yeah, fixed cost. And it says rent on corporate office space. Now, if it said rent on a factory space, then it would have been a product cost because we use the factory space in a production process. But here it says on corporate office space. Yeah, it says corporate office space. And so we're going to expense it as we incur, and therefore it's going to be a period cost. Next, G, last one, is nails, glue, and other materials required to construct deck. And so it varies per job. So it is going to, it literally says it varies per job. So it's going to be variable overhead. So it's then going to be variable cost because it's going to depend, right? So how many we're producing, how many we use, and so on. And another thing is whether it's a period or product, again, we use nails, glues, and other materials to produce our materials, right? So our products, our units. And so in that case, we have to classify it as a product, right? So this is going to be a product. We are going to incur the cost of nails and glues, and then until it's sold, it's going to be classified as inventory as part of the a finished good and or work in process, whatever it is. And so we have to classify it as product.